Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is a new
everybody.
podcast.
It might have been like demon possessed. It was a fairly large, mutated looking chicken.
We were born in the north, but we grew up in the south.
We learned all of our words from Pennsylvania.
And people are like, that's toboggan. That little toboggan
Not
there.
a toboggan. A toboggan is a sled. Okay.
0.3 inches, baby.
Dude, I can't take it. She rolling.
REC.
There we go.
Welcome back to the episode for this week, the Wise Works podcast. A lot happened this weekend. What happened with you guys this weekend?
Shoot,
You almost spilled my
sorry.
coffee. What happened to you guys this weekend?
Well, crap, I gotta remember now.
It snowed.
No, it did snow.
High five.
Yeah.
It snowed a lot.
It did snow.
Actually, I was laying in my bed. I go to work around like 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
I was laying in bed. It was like 5:15.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have been up by now, but I wasn't because I was being lazy. I'm like, I'll get up last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have done that.
Being on Facebook, and someone who I work with posted their like something about the snow,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wait, snow? I got out, opened my window, and I'm like, there's a lot of snow in it. It's still coming down like a blizzard.
Yeah.
Dang.
I gotta leave right now
Yeah.
to get to work.
Get out.
I got to work.
Good.
Did you go to work?
Yes, I did. I went to work. I had a little bit longer of a drive than you. Note, most interstates are better than back roads when it snows, or even just side roads. Like, if you can take the interstate and drive slow, you're probably going to be more safe. Well, because
People will clear the interstate.
yeah. So I took the interstate most of the way, and then I got off the interstate, and I was like, man, these roads are rough.
Yeah. How was your driving to work, Wyatt?
Dude, shut up, man.
I wasn't at work, but I did wake up.
No, give us good news. Can you say now? I guess.
Yeah, I do have a job now.
You basically got a job this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the drug
Yeah.
test, had to do the background check.
How was that like? Drug test, peeing in a cup?
It's a drug test, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Peeing in a cup.
I actually
just
have
like-
never had to do a drug test.
Because you
Really?
worked for
But it's-
your pastor and he trusted you.
No. I did do a background check, but they didn't do a drug test for that for some reason.
Freaking, it's exciting that you have a job, man. I think that's one of the biggest things when you move to a new area that you just struggle with, like getting over. When you first get there, you're like, okay, I'm here, everything's new.
Yeah.
And then you're here or you're in the new area like a week, and then it sets in that you don't have a job yet. Joshua had a quicker transition. I mean, Joshua was back to work in like 2 weeks when he first moved here, but that's just because
Lowe's. Yeah.
Lowe's. I will have to call Lowe's out a little bit.
What'd they do?
They did me dirty.
How'd they do you dirty?
I worked at Lowe's for about 2 years when I moved here to Virginia. I was a full-time employee, so I had benefits, or I had the option of benefits, but I also had vacation time.
Yeah.
I moved here to Virginia. I only didn't work for 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
or technically 1 week before I started getting hired to work at another Lowe's. If you're a prior employee to Lowe's, you can't be hired on as a seasonal part-time position because you already have worked for Lowe's before, if it's kind of a transitional thing.
Yeah.
Once I got hired, I was working 40 plus hours, but I was still labeled as a part-time seasonal position for about 3 to 4 months while I was working at Lowe's. I
Okay.
worked 40 plus hours, so that's full time.
Yeah.
I still don't have any vacation time because I was technically part-time seasonal, which they don't get time off.
But
I'm an employee now because
but you're saying if you were...
I didn't start technically being a full-time employee till like August.
So you still don't have vacation time?
Mm.
Man, they did
I mean,
do
I
you
took
dirty.
I had 2 days of vacation. I took
Wait,
off.
you don't have any vacation time, and you started being full-time in August?
I had 2 days of vacation time around Christmas that I took. So I did have 2 days.
All
but
right.
That was it.
Well, you had some, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Sounds dirty to me.
They did me a little dirty.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have done it. It was because I wasn't planning to move to another Lowe's, so I didn't do a transitional thing. I just got fired, or I quit one Lowe's, and then
I got fired.
and then I went to the next
I
Lowe's.
went to a new one, and I'm planning on getting fired from this one.
Sorry. I gotta stop saying
Me too.
So well, there it goes. There goes the thought. I was trying. I don't remember what I had to say.
What are you drinking, Wyatt?
Milk.
Milk. Okay.
Milk.
How's your mustaches going, guys?
It's there somewhere.
I shaved mine off. I'm ashamed.
You know, it's coming back already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
I think I'm going to just let it go. I know I said that.
Let it go.
But everything is going to
Every
be
week you're going to let it go and then shave it again.
Yeah. I think I'm doing something with my hair, too. It's kind of like a let it go thing with my hair.
Let it go.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
It's still pulling a little, early Justin Bieber. You need to change it up.
What do I do?
Justin's was way cleaner.
Way cleaner, but
No, like not as in like
you got it
how
dirty.
dirty it looks. It just like how it was cut. It was clean.
Yeah, but you need to fix it in a way that looks
How
like
should
you're
I
in your
fix it?
20s. Maybe like pull it back or
Do the top knot.
Or you could just
I've
even
done
do
the top knot.
Yeah, the top knot if it's long enough, or just do like a stylish pull back. Like don't let it get on your forehead.
You want to see all that real stuff?
Now see
Yeah.
with the hair coming down the side like that looks awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
It's solid. Okay.
Hold on, let me see.
Wow.
Like this.
Look, if you
No,
like,
No.
Don't touch my hair.
No.
It's weird.
you just gotta keep it off your forehead.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
You're fine.
I do pull it back sometimes, just not all the time.
Yeah.
Well, my hair game's going on pretty strong. It is what it is.
Mine's just the floof. It's
The floof.
You've got that Jew thing.
the Jew thing.
The
No.
Jew thing.
The floof.
I got a floof.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Anything new you guys like to mention regarding Wise Works that's in the making?
Do you want to? Is there something specific? Because I think
Yeah.
No,
so
just like a
from
quick
now
check-in.
on,
I
I
don't know.
will be editing the midnight special.
Yep.
Just to sort of, because we're kind of evening out workloads.
Yep.
So expect like much higher quality.
Much higher.
No, if anything, expect there to be something wrong.
No, there's nothing gonna be wrong. It's
But we
pretty
did,
simple.
we did a test run today.
Yep. So that's a big update.
Are
You're
you
getting
gonna-
integrated.
get some nip slips in the midnight special.
Yeah,
Nip
just a few.
slips.
Nip slips.
What? Because I can't see it.
Yeah.
Freaking, it's pretty exciting, man. I'm glad that you're getting integrated. I'm glad that you're
Yep.
learning new stuff, carrying
Fun.
the load, sharing
really
it.
is.
Share the load.
Share the load and whatnot. For me, I'm trying. We're trying to figure out a few things. Like we've talked a number of times about how we're having guests on, and we are continuing to have guests on. Although we're figuring out the exact format in which to do guests. So we're kind of debating between ourselves if 3 people talking to a guest is too much to bring in a 4th. If we're trying to get to know the guest, or if you'd rather have only 2. And so maybe leave in the comments if you have an opinion. Let us know what you think in regards to how many of us should be on.
Yeah.
If it's only like 2, then we'll do kind of interchanging week to week. Or if you guys insist on wanting to see us every time.
Well, that way you can sort of help guide how we do things, and so that you have a better experience. But ultimately, we're going to do what we want to do.
Ultimately. No, but I mean, it's really all about them, kind of.
It is.
We want you guys to have a good experience. So if you want to have a good experience, us talking to new people that you don't know and get to know them, let us know if you want all 3 of us or just like 2 of us interchanging. Anything with WiseWorks for you, Joshua? Anything stand out? Do any cool photo shoots?
This week, no.
What about last week?
It's fine.
Last week, no.
What about the week before?
Yes. Yes. No. The only reason why I haven't done anything recently is because partly we've been busy with snow stuff, and we were going to do something in the snow, we never did, and that kind of fell through. And then the weekend came.
We still have plans for that.
We do have plans. Might not involve snow, but I already came up with something that I can't just drop because of it.
Yeah. I mean, something new with me. You probably have already seen this, but this is the first time I'm wearing not sleeves on the new episode. Want to see that?
Oh wow!
Yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. You haven't showed it off yet? We'll show show your camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and by the way,
over the break,
just me.
And also, by the way,
yeah,
get that mom tattoo.
Yeah, but freaking yeah, you got some new ink going on in your arm.
If you're interested in anything else coming in the future, or just interested, if you wanted to see this like a month or two ago, when
you talk about your tattoo,
okay, you can follow me on my Instagram. Josh_Wisener_.
We're doing plugs now?
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
Oh, crap. Yeah. I don't even know what my plug is.
You can also go see some of my photography there. I got something in the works, I think, planned big for March, photo shoot wise.
Okay.
You want to tell us about it?
No.
Why not?
No. Keep it under wraps.
You'll see.
But if it doesn't happen, then people will be, like, sad.
They'll have to be sad.
But if you put it out there, the universe will accept it and make it happen.
Nah.
Like the banana bread, dude?
The banana bread?
My mother always said, if you believe in things, good things will come to you.
And then there was banana bread at work.
Banana bread at work today, bro? Yeah. Seth was on.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that episode.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Seth was on. It was a pretty awesome episode. We had a great conversation. He's been on the Midnight Special. If you haven't seen it yet, go back and take a look. We had an awesome time talking about that. But yeah, I think it's about time.
Jump right in.
To jump right in to the topic.
There's a topic?
Yeah, there is.
And this was a well
planned
fleshed out, real planned. We've been planning this for quite a while. It was not thrown together last minute.
Not at all.
You know us.
You know us. We out here.
Okay. So I came up with this topic because why I came up with the topic.
Wyatt came up with it. Wyatt, you introduce it.
I'm gonna throw you guys under the bus a little bit. I had a topic. You guys didn't. You said.
No, sir. You're not throwing me under the bus. He had a topic, and he didn't tell us about it until 30 minutes before we're about to record.
And it's a big thing. It takes a lot of research.
It's a cool topic. But Josh was like, well, I prepared. And we're like, it's going to be a solid 3-hour process for us to prepare.
We're going to rank the movies throughout the decade. The best movies in each decade.
All the way up to modern day, from basically the start of cinema.
In one podcast.
Podcast. And then Josh was like, and we're doing it in 20 minutes.
No, I mean, think of this. We're going to do an episode about this. So tune in next week. Rank like the 80s when it comes to films. There was a lot of good movies that came out in the 80s.
Why don't we just do
or 90s?
Why don't we just
2000s?
Okay, because if there's like a period of time, like if there's there's films in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Like if I don't know a lot of films from a certain decade, I might have to watch a few. You know what I mean?
I think we
should do it decade by decade.
I think what he means is we are ranking the decade.
Okay.
Oh,
really?
Decade?
Like which is better, 2000s or the 80s as far as movies?
Yes.
How about we do this? How about we do a series, not back to back, but we break it up, give people a break, and we go through the history of cinema broken down into decades.
Not the history. We're not doing the history.
No, not the history, but like our favorite films from that decade.
Okay.
And then at the end, till we get to 2020, at the end of that, then we do a full podcast and give our arguments for what was the best decade.
And then and try to rank them.
And try to rank it. Yeah.
I like it.
Like we do a long series and we break it up.
How about or we could do one where we rank the decade with almost no knowledge of anything, and then we come back after we have our little series and do a re-rank.
Okay. Let's get into the topic we do have for today, though.
Okay.
Wyatt
should introduce
one
it.
thing before you introduce it, though. I just want to throw a quick tease to 2 weeks from now. If you can figure it out, then I will give you props. What we're going to talk about. You are the pen.
It's not Hook.
No.
I'm not talking about Hook.
Wyatt. Let's get introduce the topic.
Okay.
That's all I'm giving.
So I thought, what would be, something that we all sort of have in common, and something we all enjoy from movies, TVs, books, just that kind of stuff in general.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, I think, and I've said it before on this podcast, that moments that make you feel something personally, you're sitting there in the movie theater or you're watching it at home.
Well, not just movies, because there's a couple books in there
books,
too.
because I have some books that have done the same thing. TV shows, there's so many mediums, right?
Yes.
And there's lots of
Why
different
do they have to be mediums? Why can't they be
larges? Yeah.
Or extra large?
You better grow out that stash, because you're gonna be telling these dad jokes.
That's a great way to sum up the way Joshua's comments are. They're just a bunch of 20-year-old dad jokes.
Yeah.
So
I'm prepared to
So
be a
yeah,
dad.
we're gonna be hitting up some epic moments, some emotional moments, some awesome moments. I think. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Emotions that you maybe felt that you were not expecting.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like things that even
Like a little
you
tingle?
you can easily define anger, heck yeah emotions, sadness.
Mm-hmm.
These pull out, but all of a sudden there's moments of like courage and there's moments of inspiration that hit you and you don't even realize. What are you giggling about?
Me and Wyatt had this moment where we just locked eyes.
We have moments.
We locked eyes and we both were thinking, talk about this week. I don't want to go off topic, but
We're never getting to this topic,
we were
ladies and
watching a
gentlemen.
film.
We're never getting in
What
this
was
topic.
it?
we watching?
We were both thinking of something. We just
Oh,
a psych quote.
So we're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we had a moment. This was a funny moment where one of the characters says to the other, they're just hiding behind a building, and one says, "It's so hard to say goodbye." And there's a singing episode in Psych where they're all like, "It's so hard to say goodbye," and just at the same time, Josh and I started singing it.
That's a good human interaction. You know, there's commonality, there's in-depth, but yeah, I enjoy those moments too. But
That was funny.
Let's get to the topic, though.
I think that's in the topic.
Yes.
Funny moments, relatable
Okay.
moments.
Okay, you want to go to... I think they get the gist. You want to go to the first slide?
Well, let's hit up the first slide, and I'll explain, because I set up the slides. I'll explain why I put this in there.
Okay.
Because for most people, this is a relatable moment, right? When... And this is one of the biggest, and I'm sure if you were in the movie theater when this happened, this is one of the biggest TV moments, and the entire movie theater went crazy, right?
Yes.
Because in Captain America, in Avengers: Age of Ultron, there's the scene where they're all trying to pick up the hammer,
Yeah.
right? And Cap moves it, right? But he doesn't pick it up. And then in Avengers Endgame, Thor is being held down by Thanos, right? And you just see the hammer lift up, and then it smashes into Thanos, and then it goes woof, and it stops and then flies into Captain America's hand, and the entire theater goes, yeah, woo, yeah. They're just going absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
My cousin Josh is sitting by me. Wah, wah. He's just freaking out.
Yeah.
I can see Josh doing
Right?
that.
Because and of course Josh is like, I knew it! I knew that?
Okay,
right.
Okay, so the details with the hammer is you have to be you have to be
So
worthy.
yeah, whoever picks up the hammer, if he's worthy, will possess the powers of Thor, right? And so Captain America is worthy.
That's cool. And
right?
he wasn't worthy before
and everybody knew he was worthy.
Yes.
Everybody knew he could do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody waited for this moment. And I think it's one of the moments that
Do you think
we share.
Which one does he like try to pick it up and it twist it?
That's Age of Ultron.
Okay. Do you think he knew he could pick it up in Age of Ultron? He just didn't.
So what some of the writers have said was he could, but he didn't
because he wanted to get that.
No,
moment.
for out of respect for Thor,
Okay.
right? He didn't want to just pick it up, you know.
Yeah.
And Vision picks it up in that movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Vision is not. He's technically worthy.
Technically.
Technically.
I don't want to go too far because I want to keep on this topic. Have you guys seen the new
WandaVision? Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of that yet?
I did. I've been watching it. I've been keeping up.
Is it any good?
So I think it's the 1, 2 came out the first day, and then 1 came out, and then so I think I'm on the 4th episode.
Ooh.
And the 4th episode doesn't take place in the little TV universe, right?
Yeah.
It takes place what's going on outside, and really kind of helps you grasp what's happening in the TV show, because up until then it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But it is good. It is good. It's setting up the new phase.
Okay.
But yeah, I like this moment because it's one I think everybody can resonate with, because everybody went and saw Endgame.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted this to happen.
Marvel has been a huge journey for so many people.
Yeah, I in fact, with the moment at the end, everybody was always, oh, I cried when Tony Stark died, and my big cry moment was at the very end where he's old. Spoilers, by the way. He's old, and the last shot of the movie is him dancing with the girl he was in love with. Because he went back. Right, that's what made me cry, because I went and saw the first Captain America with my mom.
Yeah.
And that was one of the moments we were like, man, I wish he had just danced with her, you know? And they did it in this one. And that hit me really hard because I was really young when we went and watched that movie.
Yeah. That's, can I, we can throw some special mentions at the end or right now.
Oh, as you think of them.
That's one of those films. I think Toy Story 3 was that way.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest ones for a lot of people.
I don't like that they made a 4th Toy Story for the reason they ended the 3rd one so good.
Yeah.
It was like Andy was letting go of his toys. I watched it. I basically grew up watching Toy Story, and then it was like...
Well, because for a lot of us, we were what? We were, a lot of us were 16, 15, 16 when that movie came out. Mm-hmm. And... that was we were kind of coming to the end of our childhood.
Yeah, we were.
Right? So we were really identifying with the movie, you know, and that was a big moment for a lot of kids, 90s kids, early 2000s, who grew up with those movies.
Yeah, I mean, because you're literally playing with your toys when Andy in the Pixar Toy Story
I had a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
and
so did we.
Yeah.
So did we. Everybody did.
Yeah.
Everyone had at least a Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're literally a kid when Andy's a kid. Mm-hmm. And then they don't make any for so long, but you keep rewatching these films because you're like, I love toys. I play with my toys. We get to watch toys come to life. And then all of a sudden you're like getting ready to go to college and they hit you with a 3rd movie where Andy's going to college. And then you are literally dealing with the same emotions that Andy's dealing with. So it's been so relatable. And the whole thing where they think they're about to, burn up and stuff, that's not as emotional.
That's powerful, but not as powerful as the very end.
It's not as powerful as Andy
giving his toys to another kid. Right?
Because we've all done it.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're just taking your toys to the thrift store,
Mm-hmm.
or you're giving them to a friend, or you're giving them to a younger sibling. Like, these are intense moments. They're your childhood's imagination.
Seeing William, who's 7 years old,
Yeah,
running
your younger
around
brother.
playing with my toys,
Yeah.
you know, that I love seeing it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a big moment.
Let's go to the next slide.
All right, Wyatt.
Yeah.
I believe this was another one of
Another one.
yours.
So
Yeah, we should have
have
back-to-back.
you watched these with me?
I've
you've
watched The Last
seen-
Samurai.
I've
with
never
you.
watched it with you, but I saw it after
You've seen
he
it,
saw
okay.
it.
These are both Last Samurai, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So the one on the left is the Last Samurai, Katsumoto, I believe his name is, in the movie. He's telling Captain Algren, played by Tom Cruise, that, you know, a man could search his whole life for the perfect cherry blossom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And never find it, and it wouldn't be a wasted life.
Wow.
Right? It's one of my
Look, you see
it's got the bumps,
See
the
that?
goosebumps,
I got the goosebumps.
right?
I don't know what it was. You saying Captain
Then-
Algren, and
What?
it gave me the goosebumps. Look, see, they're gone now.
Then at the end,
Interesting.
They put me in that moment.
they're on the field, and all the samurai are dead. It's just Algren and Katsumoto, and Katsumoto's dying, and Algren's holding him in his arms, right? After the sword has been plunged into Katsumoto's chest, right? And Algren is holding him, and Katsumoto, just over Algren's shoulder, sees the cherry blossom trees on the hill, and he just says, "They're perfect. They're all perfect."
I think that was a really, really good
Beautiful
moment.
moment.
But I also think to build on that moment, when the moment he bows before the emperor or whatever his role was,
This photo here.
he bows and says, as a foreigner, he wasn't even a samurai, but he said, "If you wish it, I will kill myself in honor."
And then
take his own life.
Yeah.
and then he says, the emperor comes up to him and kneels before him,
Yeah.
and says, "Tell me how he died." And he comes and he looks up and he says, "I'll tell you how he lived."
That
Right?
That was beautiful.
Beautiful. The whole movie is like just beautiful.
That's a neighbor.
And the whole movie is beautiful. Very well shot, beautiful music.
Yeah. Dude,
And-
we gotta watch that soon.
Yeah. Now that was one I was sitting. I had a party with my friend and stayed
Dude,
over
you were
at his
partying,
house.
dog.
It wasn't that kind of party. Come on.
Well, you were probably playing games.
Yeah, we were. And
That's a
but
party.
no,
dog.
but I was like 20,
Yeah.
right? So I stayed over at his house, and I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, well, it's Saturday. He doesn't have to work. I'm sure he's gonna sleep in, right? But I looked through his movie rack, and I saw The Last Samurai. I plugged that bad boy in, and at the end, I'm sitting on my friend's couch. His roommates are walking in and out, and I'm just like, whoo, just
hear
watching
that,
this
man.
movie
Yeah,
because
I
it's
hear
so
that.
powerful.
I remember when I watched The Last Samurai for the first time. Same as Joshua, this moment towards the end where he essentially adopted everything about the samurai culture onto himself, and how they were essentially slaughtered, pretty much.
Yeah.
They were slaughtered, just wiped out. And the movie itself is so epic, it pulls you in. And I think a part of what movies do to make them effective is it pull you in some fashion so that you can be present for the emotional moments, for the lessons, the messaging in the film that usually happens to the middle, to the end of the film. The Last Samurai is a great example of this.
Oh yeah.
Because at the beginning, okay, so this is a little bit of a different motion, but when you know, your heart skips a beat out of fear, almost like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
what's about to happen. It's in this movie for me when they're in the woods, they're seeing the samurais for the first time, and there's those slow motion shots, and they're coming up on them. They have their what do you call it? Their uniform.
Yeah, their armor.
Their armor.
Yeah.
And they have like the masks
The
and
masks,
stuff.
yeah.
And they're like, I think they're running through fog on horses, and they come through the fog in slow motion. That is eerie. How cool that was.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of stuff brings you in real fast to the story, because you realize this isn't just like a drama about, you know, some captain who's, I don't know. It's not.
It's been a while since you've seen the movie.
It's been a while. I'm trying to say it's much more than just some kind of drama piece.
Yeah.
It's a work of art in the way it's presented visually, the way it's presented from character development, from the captain's point of view.
Yeah.
What's Tom Cruise's character's name?
Captain Algren.
Captain Algren. From where he started to where he ended is very dramatic.
Well, at the beginning, he hates himself because of what he did.
Yeah.
Right? He slaughtered the Native Americans when he was with General Custer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he hates himself, right? And so they say, you know, come over and help us train our army in Japan. And he doesn't, you know, he hates himself. And so now he's trying to train men to kill their own men, right? To kill their own, training Japanese to kill Japanese.
Yeah.
Right? And that hurts him. And then he gets taken with them and, you know, sees their way of life.
Man. Well, talking about this makes me think of a lot more movies that I wish were on that list.
Yeah.
But
Should have prepared more, dog.
well, I know I prepared, but this list would be so long if I talked about
Right.
all of them. I'll just quickly mention it. We don't need to go in depth to it, but Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams.
I thought about that one.
When all the kids stand on the desk, they're like, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And that's a good moment.
Yeah. Well, Robin Williams stuff almost across the board is amazing.
Yeah.
Makes you feel a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Next one.
let's move to the next one.
Yeah. How's your camera doing?
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I put all these back to back.
I didn't just break them up.
We'll hit these quick as far as epic moments. So there's the one on the left is from the TV show One Punch Man, which is about superheroes. And the main character, Saitama, is the most powerful superhero, even though technically he's not even on the superhero lists.
Yes.
So, you know, he'll punch an enemy and destroy it, right? And he's bored, right, because of how strong he is. But he likes helping people. and his drive to help people is what made him into a hero.
Interesting.
So you have this character on the left whose name is Moomin Rider. He's another superhero in the show who doesn't have any powers. And neither did Saitama when he first started. He doesn't have any powers, but there's an enemy that's just tearing through superheroes. And Moomin Rider knows that he has to help because he's a superhero, right? So he rides a bike. And so he rides his bike. He gives Saitama a lift on his bike.
Yeah.
But he rides his bike and he rides up behind the this giant fish monster, right? That's like 10 feet tall and super muscular. And he throws his bicycle at it, right? It's a very comical scene, but he rides up and he tosses his bicycle at it. And of course it does nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And the creature proceeds to start beating the crap out of him. But he's doing this because the creature was about to attack a shelter where all the people of the city had gathered.
I see.
And he's doing his best, and all the people start cheering for him, even though he can literally do nothing, and he's just getting beat up.
Yeah.
Right. Then of course Saitama steps up and punches the thing in the face, and it gets obliterated.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a very powerful scene because he's putting everything into it. You're rooting for him, right?
But he
to
doesn't.
win, but he can't do anything, right? Because he believes in helping people so much, right? And the same goes for, in this photo, this character's name is All Might from a different TV show. He's the #1 superhero, right? but
He's got rabbit ears.
that's his hair. His organs are damaged, right, from a fight, and so he can only hold his superhero form, which is this big muscular form, for so long.
Yeah.
Right. And he's coming to the end of his ability to maintain this superhero form. But he uses his last little bit to destroy a villain.
Yeah.
Right. And this scene, and it's a really cool shot, and I'll have to show you the video later. But this scene, he puts his arm up for all the people to see, right, that he's still number one. And he says, "You're next." Right? He's not talking about villains, and he's talking directly because the kid who's inheriting his superpower can see him through the screen, to the TV, and he's like, "You're next. You inherit this."
Yeah.
And it's just they're powerful more powerful superhero moments.
Yeah.
And what I think some of these shows do is show that even the most powerful of the characters, it doesn't matter, right? You have to have the willingness to help others.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool. I think you have a unique outlook on what touches you in an emotional way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't get emotional about everything, but there's little moments, but it doesn't sound like we would probably be emotional about the same moments. But it's interesting the things you pick up on. Like, they are like important, cool moments, but like it seems to set into you in a deep way. Do you know why?
I don't know.
Like why is "You're next"? You know.
See.
Why is that set in so personally for you?
Because he uses his last little bit, right? His last bit of his powers, right, to obliterate the enemy, right, and damage himself even more, so that he physically can't fight crime. He physically can't be a superhero. It'd be like if Superman used the last little bit of being Superman, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of the powerful moment comes from when he tells the kid, you have to step up to the plate now because I'm done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've set it up for you.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that sort of, it speaks to passing on positive mental state, a positive habits, right?
Yeah. It's like
to the younger generation.
With great power comes great responsibility, and now you're passing on that responsibility.
Right. It wouldn't mean anything if Peter Parker didn't pass that on to Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some to it. What are you looking at me like that for?
He's thinking.
He's getting sleepy. He's getting sleepy.
Go to the next slide.
Hopefully this isn't one I put in. Okay, yeah,
No.
This is Josh.
Joshua.
Wait, I have my own slide?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, can you believe I've never seen this movie?
What?
Yeah, one of the few.
What?
Yes. Everybody savor this moment. We got it on podcast.
I know the end. I know how it ends. I know how it ends. It's an old movie. Jeez.
Why?
What is this, a freaking 40-year-old movie? Come on, guys.
Well, I didn't know the ending. Talk about it, Joshua.
Willis
Talk about
has
it.
hair, so yes. It's
Did
old.
you know that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father?
No.
It's hard to believe.
Crazy.
This would be an interesting topic in the future. The cultural impact of Star Wars in general.
Yeah. Well, we've done one Star Wars podcast.
But specifically
We
the
have to do
cultural
another.
impact.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar to the cultural impact of when that time and the dude went.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got
That
you.
No.
What?
It's he
Yeah.
wouldn't get it. He wouldn't
Yeah.
understand.
I don't know.
It
Yeah.
didn't impact him the way
No.
it
I
did
don't
with
know.
us.
I mean, he's married and all. So.
Yeah.
No,
So talk
this
about this,
one.
Joshua.
I mean, spoiler alert, the guy's dead. There we go. That
Yeah.
basically sums it up.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
No, I mean, it's such a twist. I was not into these kind of films when this probably came out. I'm not sure what year that came out.
Don't matter.
Probably
It's
the
older.
90s is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. But I mean, it's very. So I watched it. I was not expecting that much. I was looking for a good M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
That guy.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Chameleon. I was looking for a good
Shyamalan.
Chameleon film.
Yeah.
And this came up, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. Was watching. I'm like, it's okay. Going through it. The end came. Was not expecting it. I called you right after I finished. I'm like, you're watching it. I'm giving you my copy of this, and you watched it.
I did. But tell us why it impacted you so emotionally.
I mean, it was just
Obviously, a twist is going to affect you, and people
Yeah.
can resonate with that. But try to explain a little bit of why has this stayed with you for so many years? Obviously, it's a twist, but
It's just, I think it's a twist, and that's the kind of movies I really like.
So
when
it's
something makes you, what?
Yeah.
How? Or
so maybe you
know,
like that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's like a feeling you want to see in films.
I
Somewhat,
can
yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
You know,
But
Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? You've been
I
giving
don't
me all
know.
kinds of looks today.
I don't know. You just, that feeling, I don't know the way you said that. It's kind of weird.
Please.
please.
Please. Ew. Ew. I thought
I agree though.
No, yeah, it was good.
I agree wholeheartedly when I mean it's such an unexpected twist. It's like the kid sees dead people, right? That's the big line.
Is the next slide the books? Because I want to
don't
get
think
into
so.
that a little more. You can probably elaborate on that.
Don't look. Okay, get in the books then.
I mean,
Well, we have two different series here.
Yeah, there's 6 books on that.
Which way can I gesture here? They can see
Gesture
it
right
from
there.
this-
Yeah.
These books, The Door Within.
Yep.
Read them they're a teen. I don't know what they're catered towards, like teen fiction. Is that what you describe them as?
Yeah.
But they are really good.
I remember.
I did read them a while ago, so it was definitely like high school, probably.
Yeah. Actually, Seth was the one that got us on these books. It was. It's kind of the guy who wrote them was very much inspired by Lord of the Rings. So sort of this mystical world and a little bit of Narnia, I think. So it's this mystical world that these people have to enter, and while they're there, they essentially get sucked into this crazy scenario of which I don't want to spoil, and I also don't want to elaborate on because it's been a long time since I read the books.
I think I can remember. I'm pretty sure like 2 different times in the book, it like pulled at the strings of your tug.
It pulled at the tug strings.
Yeah.
It tugged at the heartstrings. As
Yeah.
pulled at the tug strings. It pulled at the tug strings. That's got to be a thing. They pulled at my tug strings. Like you're just dangling your
Try
tug
over here.
strings ready for them to be pulled.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
there's
the
2
final storm, the end of this series is pretty crazy.
One was involving his grandpa.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I don't want to elaborate. It's involving his grandpa. Spoiler alert.
I mean, you can
Should
kind
read
of
it.
elaborate.
It doesn't. He dies.
Yes.
Okay, his grandpa dies. Who
Most grandpas die.
like was
Except for Willy Wonka, like Charlie's grandfather, who should have. Because he's a piece of crap.
Yeah, he's a
right?
lazy little cuss.
Joe.
He's just in bed until one day he's
Grandpa
like,
Joe, if you're out there.
Grandpa Joe die.
But yeah, his grandpa died, and he was like the person who kind of led him on his journey, and it was in big involvement when he went into this world. And then there was another moment. I can't remember the situation, but I just remember it was very tuggy on the pull strings.
Yeah.
No, he's very pulley on the tug
The
strings.
tug strings.
The one that resonated with me the most was the Final Storm, this green one right over here.
Yeah, both of those things I'm pretty sure were in that.
Yeah, the way this series ends is a little tragic. I'm going to spoil them a little because we're not just going to like say, hey, this is good stuff and try to move on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, most people
Spoiler.
probably haven't read them and might not, but I would
it's
recommend
okay.
it.
I will.
It's a recommendation.
I'm going to say pretty much everyone dies. And there is this sort of heaven scenario at the end that is very heartwarming and is very comforting. And,
very tuggy on the pull strings.
Yeah, very.
I
You
think
keep
it's
getting
the
it wrong.
tug
It's very
strings.
pulley on the tug strings.
Pulley on the tug
The
strings.
tug strings
Yes,
sounds
the tug
sounds
strings.
funnier. Tug strings.
Tug strings.
But they it's definitely pulley.
Tuggy.
It's definitely pulley. And there's something. Okay, so to get a little bit more personal with it, I am a Christian, and so I have certain beliefs about the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
The writer is also a believer, and so he has a scenario similar to what C.S. Lewis did with Narnia.
Right.
He just did it in a very strong way that I think was even a little bit more heartwarming as a young person than C.S. Lewis's were.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So if you know anything about the Chronicles of Narnia series, if you got all the way to the last battle, let's just say it doesn't end the same way, but it's a similar scenario. And if you enjoy an epic adventure throughout the whole series and you love reading, you love middle-aged teen fantasy stories. There's also, I think, a little bit of a love story that goes on in there. A little bit of an epic one.
Yeah.
If you enjoy that, this is a high recommendation, especially if you're
What's
a
he
teenager.
trying to tell us with his name? It's Wayne Thomas Bat's son.
Batson.
But if you flip it around, it's Thomas Wayne's son, Bat. Thomas Wayne's son is Bruce Wayne, who is Batman.
Maybe.
I'm sorry.
What? Wait, is Batman's dad's name Thomas?
Thomas.
Are you
Thomas
kidding?
Wayne. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, hold on.
Wayne you see
didn't
where I
know
got
this.
it?
I see it now. Hold on.
Sorry.
Wait. Wayne.
Thomas Wayne's son, Bat. If you reconstruct
Thomas Bat son Wayne.
it works either way. But he's trying to tell us that
Probably.
Bruce Wayne is Batman.
He's even thrown a little generational name in there.
So for the other books,
Dang.
The Way of Kings,
Yeah.
confused me. Right, I got into it, and it opens up with a war scene and the main character, and then the war scene's over, and then the main character's in a cell in a cart as a slave being carried off somewhere.
Yes.
And I was confused because I was like, did I miss something? And I was listening to the book on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, so YouTube cut something out. So I stopped listening to the book. And then I went back to the book and finished it. And the first book hits, right, because the writer deals with mental illness and suicide and, feelings of like grandeur and feeling like, you have some sort of big purpose when you may not, right?
Yeah.
Well, the main character, Kaladin,
Good old Kaladin.
is contemplating suicide, right? Because his brother died. There was nothing he could do about it.
Yeah.
Right? And he got his brother into that war.
Mm-hmm.
And then he killed what they call a shard bearer and took the shard.
Yeah.
And when he told his and what that's supposed to make you basically royalty, right? If
The
you're
shard?
the shard
bearer?
it's a sword, right?
Okay.
That you can summon. And it's supposed to make you royalty. So he goes to his commander and he's called a Bright Lord. He would be like an earl or a duke or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him, and so the guy kills his men and sells him into slavery and takes the shard for himself, right? So he's depressed, and but he has an allegiance to these men, these other slaves that he's met.
Yeah.
And he has to save them. And the book is about saying oaths and living for more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's another book that's not on there. It's the fourth book. It's supposed to be so Brandon Sanderson was the understudy of Robert Jordan, who learned from Tolkien.
Gotcha.
Right? So Robert Jordan wrote his books. They're similar to Lord of the Rings. It's a massive series, right? I forget what it's called. The Wheel of Time.
Okay.
And he died, and Brandon Sanderson finished the books, and he's writing his series. There's 4 books out now, and it's going to be a 10-book series.
Oh.
The first full story arc isn't complete yet, but there's powerful moments in each book, especially when characters say the oaths, right? It's usually a personal revelation. So Kaladin's oaths are life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination, and then for his personal oaths, those are the oaths of any of the knights radiant. And then his personal oaths are, I will protect those who can't protect themselves. I will protect those I hate. Right, is one of his oaths, and one that almost destroys him in the second book. And then I think his last one is a realization that he can't always protect everyone.
Yeah.
Right. And with each oath, his power grows. Right. But there's so many beautiful moments with so many of the characters in these books. There's moments that'll make you cry. There's moments that'll, especially in the first one, there's one where one of the other characters' armies is getting attacked, and Kaladin's slaves, he's one of the slaves. They carry bridges across these big gorges, right? And they have to place the bridge. He tells his fellow slaves, we got to turn around and help them, right? So they turn around, and that's one of the moments you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those Captain America moments.
Yeah.
And that's why I put that up there, because there's a lot of emotion that the writer has put into these books.
Yeah. And in moments of high stakes, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what usually, when something takes a turn for the good, it makes you feel great, and it makes you feel like, yes, you can do it. Almost like you get when you're watching a football game
movie,
or something.
Yeah.
Or a football game, someone gets a turnover. Speaking of football, there's actually, we'll know who won the Super Bowl when this comes out, but we don't know who's winning the Super Bowl yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we go to the next slide.
Yes.
But first, Never Alone.
What? I missed
Never
that.
Alone. Go to the next slide.
All right, The Patriot.
This is your first one.
This was what? My first one of what?
Your
my first one. My
essentially
picks.
your picks. Yeah.
My picks. So you guys had to feel some emotion when you watched The Patriot.
Of course.
Joshua probably doesn't. He doesn't have
Yeah.
a heart.
My emotion was a little bit of anger to this scene, especially.
The scene.
This was a beautiful moment. If you aren't familiar with the moment, throughout the film, the lead characters has a family, and one of his, I think it's his youngest daughter, won't speak. Like, she just doesn't want to say words. And it's kind of a weird thing, but it's just the reality of the situation. He's going off to war. He's going off to battle. And she's gotten a little bit older, and he's already been in battles and in the midst of this. What's the word I'm
War?
looking for? Kind of war, but just turmoil of the
Yeah.
land. You know what I mean? And he's all caught up in that, but he has a family, and he has a young daughter, and she's never spoken to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she finally, in this scene, is so overtaken with emotions to see her father leave again. Josh is gonna ruin everything. 5-4.
5-4.
Friggin'. But this scene makes me cry so much.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like a father and a child connect on such a beautiful level. If you haven't seen the
She
Patriot,
says, what does she say? Are we going to say what she says?
Yeah, say what she
So
says.
she says, he asks her just a few words, or like just one word, right? Is all he wants.
She just looks at
And
him.
she looks at him, and then he starts to leave, and she's, she starts saying, Papa, Papa, and then she runs and hugs him and says, I'll say anything you want me to say. Just don't leave me. And it's so beautiful and such a
Hearing those things come out of our mouths is not very sad.
It's not sad.
Watch this scene. If you don't want to watch the full movie, sucks for you, but go watch at least this scene.
It really is beautiful.
Mel Gibson is good. I like most Mel Gibson.
Mel
films.
Gibson's amazing.
He's good in this, yeah.
He's amazing.
Good in this
as an
one.
actor.
Really good. Him and who am I thinking of?
The Joker.
The Joker. Who plays him?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's good in this one as well.
Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
We just said. I won't stick on this too long, but this is
It's got a lot of
high-
good moments.
high
a lot of epic
recommendation.
moments. A lot of really sad moments. Moments that'll make you angry.
If you haven't seen The Patriot, you must watch.
A lot of moments that'll make you hungry.
A little, probably
few.
a few hungry moments.
A few hungry
The
moments.
dogs.
The dogs.
Dogs. Good dogs. Yeah, dogs are in this one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was saying they want to eat the dogs.
Do
Do
they?
they?
They don't eat the dogs. They want to eat the dogs.
I don't remember that scene.
For real. He's
Okay. No,
they-
we're not eating the dogs.
like, yeah.
Okay.
It has high recommendation, has war violence in it. Don't watch it if that freaks you out, but at least go on YouTube and watch the scene.
Yeah.
Just type in The Patriot movie sad scene. It's probably
Sad
the first
scene,
thing that comes
beach
up.
scene, whatever.
Yeah. It's
They
very
just
good.
don't.
Don't just Google beach scene, though.
Yeah. Yeah, on its own. Beach scene images.
So we'll get off this, but the motion of sadness in films is common.
Mm-hmm.
This is what resonates with me.
Right.
This kind of thing.
Well, I remember when you hadn't ever seen it,
I
and
hadn't.
so we sat down. Me and you and my dad, I think, were there.
Yeah.
And the rest of my family, and we're watching this, and I'm just like, because I had seen. I'm like, and then I look
Yes,
over,
I-
and Joe's like,
He doesn't want her dad to leave her. Oh gosh, like that kind of stuff.
yeah, it was really funny.
Freaking, that's what happens, man. I get teary eyed, and it all comes out, and then I start
Yeah.
talking
Trippy.
about all of my emotions. All right, let's finish off these slides,
Mhm.
and then we'll see where we go from there. Great one to end on.
Little Mermaid.
This is your pick.
My pick. But who doesn't like this?
It's a good movie.
See, I at first didn't see the emotion to it, and you guys have to convince me why this should be on this list. I mean, it's a good film.
We're not talking
but
about
should it be on
emotional.
this?
We're talking about scenes that make you like
Feel something.
feel something.
Okay, give me logical reasons, or just give me some reasons why this should be on our list.
For those listening, Josh was talking about this and not using descriptive words.
Well, they can see it on the screen.
Listening. For those listening.
Oh,
We're talking about the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, where Jack finally gets of Curse of the Black Pearl, where Jack finally gets back on the ship, and he's about to be the captain of his ship once
Finally.
again. Finally,
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow. He has his Black Pearl ship back, and he's at the helm, and he's got his compass out, and he's about to sail into the distance. And I believe the term he uses is, "Now, bring me that horizon."
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts going, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I thought he was
Really bad
Really
headache.
bad eggs.
Here we go.
No. Not that we have a headache.
We have a headache.
But this is a beautiful moment. So I need to break it down, and then you can
Break
add
it down
to
for
this,
me.
Wyatt, however you might think. Throughout The Curse of the Black Pearl, which might be the best constructed character development of Jack, not that Dead Man's Chest and Outworld End wasn't fantastic also, but this was opening Jack's character and unwrapping him as, well, basically all of his viewpoints of morality, all of his ideas about the world and what he truly desires. And it comes down to this idea that's paired with freedom and with his ship. And we've talked about this on past podcasts, me and you. And they're infused in his mind. Because he has this conversation with Elizabeth when they are kind of drunk. And he talks about how
Freedom.
his ship, the Pearl, represents freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so throughout this film, you come to understand Jack a lot more. So when this film ends with him getting back to his ship, he now has a crew who wants to be his crew.
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to sit at the helm. He's able to touch the helm with his own hands that he hasn't been able to do in a long time because it was stolen from him.
10 years.
Yeah, actually, 10 years it was. And he's back in control of his own destiny.
His freedom.
He has his freedom back.
Yeah.
In his mind, he's at perfect peace. He's literally finally where he knows he's supposed to be. He's almost been lost for so many years. And without direction except to get back to freedom. And so this is a great moment where, even in that phrase that I already said, where he says, now bring me that horizon, it's almost as if he's saying, now I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I have something in my future, which anything in my future, I had to get, in order to have a future, he had to get
His ship back.
He had to get his ship back.
Yeah.
So now, it's almost like the way he says it's a big sigh of relief and saying, finally, I'm back home. You know what I mean?
For me, the moment in this movie that really resonated with me and that I love the most is his mutinous first mate, Barbossa, says to Elizabeth, we can't feel anything. We can't taste, we can't feel the wind on our face, you know, the heat or the cold, right? And
The warmth of a woman's flesh.
and so, which actually it contradicts. There's a plot hole in the movie when they throw the dress that she's wearing, to
yeah,
the,
and
and
he
they're
says,
like,
"Still
warm." It's like, how would y'all know?
They can't feel it.
They can't feel that.
Maybe they
But-
can feel it by proxy through clothing.
But when finally the curse is broken, because that's all Barbossa wants, is to find that gold and to be able to feel again.
Yeah.
And to eat his apples, right? And when the curse is broken at the end of the movie, you know, Will drops the coins into the chest. Jack shoots him
Yes.
in the chest,
Yes.
right?
Chest.
And he finally feels. And he says, I feel cold. And then he falls over. That's the best line in the movie for me.
What about it do you think the cold represented? Like, why did he say I feel
The first
cold?
thing he felt.
First thing he felt was cold.
The first thing he felt since the curse.
Yeah, which is like 10
started-
years.
Yeah, started acting on them. You know? He finally felt and it was cold. And then he dies, and it's a fantastic scene.
Yeah, it is really good. I think the emotions I felt at the end of Curse of the Black Pearl, which is still one of my favorite films, is it's a mix between epic and also just peaceful.
Yeah.
Peacefully epic.
Peacefully epic. I don't know how to combine those two. I'm really happy for Jack. Almost like I want to be one of his crew. Like that's what it made me feel. Like, it's like we have an incredible future ahead of us. You know? It made me want to be there.
Did it tug you at the pull strings? Pulley at the tug strings.
It pulleyed at the tug strings. You're never gonna get that right. The tug
And he
strings.
said it.
Well, he had to fix it. He had to correct himself. Tug strings. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our list.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want to. Let's not forget. We're gonna talk about the cultural impact of Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing.
What is?
It did pulley at the tug strings.
Finally, you got it. You got it. You got it right the first time.
But the ultimate question:
Yeah.
how many times do you say chugga chugga choo choo?
Oh no, we're not. I'm not talking about this. I'm not getting into it.
This is so
Is it
random.
a chugga chugga choo choo, or is it a chugga 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 choo choo, or is it chugga choo choo?
Or it's definitely not. We've all established. We can
It's not
agree it's not chugga choo or chugga choo choo.
No,
It's a solid chugga 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 choo choo. That's what it be.
it be that. So,
Yeah.
fly the flag.
Never done this before.
And drink your milk.
Fly the flags.
Yeah,
We need a flag.
we do.
I'll look into that.
We can suspend it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we'll suspend a flag. A
So
pirate flag.
who's closing us out today?
I opened this up.
Close us out,
You want me to?
and I'll get the final line after you close us out.
Hey guys, we know we're ending a little abruptly, and we brought up the whole debate about chugga choo choo. We're sorry for that.
Do you not want to end?
No, I just feel like we came off this, and then Josh was like, chugga choo choo.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We'll be back in a few more days with another episode. We're not going anywhere.
No.
Not going anywhere. If you are interested in audio podcasts,
New
and
episode, never gone.
new episode never gone.
Yeah. New episode, but we're never gone.
Oh yes, we're a new episode, but we're never gone. We have new episodes.
Before, as we're kind of closing,
This
did
is
I
a
cut you off?
This
Did I
is a
cut you off?
common theme today.
Did I cut you off?
This is a common thing.
finish what you were
Joshua
saying.
said, he says, let's close off, or let's get to the topic. And then I start, and then before we get to the topic, or before we cut ourselves off, I have another thought.
My thought is, finish what you're saying.
No.
You're
No, I was
trying to
gonna
do this on
plug
purpose.
our website.
Say what you're going to say.
We have Wiseworks has a website. It's Wiseworks Films.
You don't
So-
think I was going to get to that?
Okay, get to that.
Okay.
I'll sit in silence.
Friggin' this episode
Let me just drink my.
is brought to you by wiseworksfilms.com. We have a website. Go check it out.
Do you know what else we have? Now I'm just doing that on purpose. I'm sorry.
Since I feel like we're probably going to be here a while, I'm just
Yeah.
going to let this play. Where was I?
I completely threw you off.
If you like pod... If you like... Wyatt, I can't do this if you're laughing, man. If you like audio only episodes, but you don't know that we are on Spotify, well, we have news for you. We are.
We are
And
on
guess what
Spotify.
else we're on? We're on Apple Podcasts, boys.
When did
Cheers
that
to that.
happen?
That happened yesterday, but it's been
Very
up
nice.
for almost a week now. We're on We're on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. So you have no excuse not to listen to us if you don't want to watch us on YouTube.
We're your friendly neighborhood white boys on.
I do not want to be labeled as the friendly neighborhood white boys. Josh, you're just tearing up this ending.
Do we want to just like go back and just redo this whole thing?
No,
Well,
this is good. This is good.
no.
We're just riffing here.
People are here for here. They're here, and we're going.
Longest outro ever. What you need to do is just play the music, the starting to end music all throughout this.
Yeah.
Just all throughout, it just never ends.
Yeah, we'll see about it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyways, go listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or you are very welcome to join us on YouTube. Subscribe if you are, and give us a comment, a like. The call to action this week is leave a comment. Let us know if you want all three of us or just two of us on rotation for the guests episode week to week. We want to have your feedback. Please don't ghost us, man. We know you're watching.
How did you like last week's episode with Seth? Give us some feedback on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And if you're doing anything this week, because we are going to be busy, what are we going to be busy doing? Slowly growing mustaches. Say what you're going to say, Wyatt.
Drink up, me hotties, yo ho.
Ba-da-dum-bum, 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 ba-da-da-da.